Shalom. We come to you in peace, in love, and in righteousness. And we want to thank those of you who have seen parts 1 and part 2 of The Dark Night Rises Ritual Explained, a summer solstice distraction. I am Unplug 'em, Ghetto Morpheus. And we're going to examine now the deeper meanings and implications. We're going to go deeper down into the rabbit hole and discuss MK Ultra, Project Monarch, and how it was likely used in this event. All of the earmarkings are there. This reminds me of the Timothy McVeigh, of a DC sniper event, the lone wolf. You know, last night when the story first broke and reports first came out, we heard that there was another suspect. One suspect had been apprehended and one had gotten away. He was on the loose, was the way that it was termed, from reputable news sources. Now today, the powers that be have given their orders to this mainstream media here, and the mainstream media guys have done well to clean up the story and make it sound like a nice lone wolf story. He is indeed a scapegoat and probably a Project Monarch mind-controlled alpha slave. The alpha slaves are the ones that are set up to do things like the Manchurian Candidate movie shows us, to do the killings, the assassinations, and then be thrown up under the bus afterward. And we're seeing that happen once again in lockstep time with what we've seen happen many times before. So how does James Holmes acquire such artillery, weaponry, and armor in reality? This is going to be an issue you're going to see all over places like Piers Morgan and other peons of the elite. They're going to make this an issue about gun control, taking your rights to bear arms and adding more security in places like movie theaters. Not just movie theaters, but places like movie theaters. Remember, the cinema. This is going to be a way to make that little mind-controlled building that we call a movie theater much more effective in programming us in this 2012 and the new age is coming. So now, we want to look at a couple of things. We know that when we've seen Project Monarch victims and mind-control operatives before, oftentimes we'll see some sort of wordplay in the name. Okay. Just a quick note, I called that Philip Phillips would end up winning the American Idol simply because of his name. He had one of the names that kept popping up when you do your research about CIA mind control victims in the music business, especially, and the entertainment business. Duran Duran, Tony Tony, Lisa Lisa. You start to see this nameplate thing go on. So, in James Holmes, the name play hasn't jumped out at me yet, but it did when they started talking to so-called bystanders and people who were there supposedly while this event was taking place. One couple in particular that we've seen twice today now, once on Piers Morgan, and then before on Diane Sawyer's nighttime news program on ABC, owned by Disney, Mind Control Masters Disney Media. So this couple, the man's name is Jamie Roars, and the lady, the mother, is Patricia Legretis. Now, I didn't see the young man who was supposedly saved her and her baby. Okay, we saw him earlier, but I didn't see him on Piers Morgan for the special paid interview. But Patricia Legretis. Now, maybe some of our Spanish-speaking friends out there can help to break down that name, or just someone with a good etymological occult eye, because we know they play games in the syllables and the names. And she was shot in the leg, Patricia Legretis. And there seemed to be no injury from what I could tell. She was standing up when she talked to Diane Sawyer and them earlier today. And her boyfriend, or man, baby daddy, whatever, Jamie Roars, R-O-H-R-S. Maybe this is a common name. But I have to relate this to Aurora and the Lion of Leo, which we're coming into now. Okay, the cusp is when this happened. Many great events happen on the cusp. The great events, by great I don't mean good, I mean high-power events happen on high-power days. And that's what this was really about, this high-powered time and the elite bringing in the New World Order through a blood ritual that had to be conducted on a high-powered day, such as the summer solstice coming in. So now we have the sun prominently figured here. It happened in Aurora. The Aurora Borealis, Aurora, is about the sun. The sun, the shining of the sun. So we look into our occult books and we find that one of the devil's favorite disguises is as the sun, and another one is as a roaring lion seeking whom he may devour, going to and fro seeking whom he may devour. So now we see this Jamie roars and Aurora, and I can't help but relate this to the Leo that we're going into. The devil is a lion, coming in like a lion, going out like a lamb. A description, I believe, of the Antichrist. And so this event is going to be used to do a lot of things. We have to ask ourselves, who's really behind this event? James Holmes. Jamie and James. James Holmes appears to be a scapegoat, a patsy. Okay, they're gonna frame this on this young man. We're going to be programmed to believe he's some nutty lone wolf. He was a neuroscience student. This is about the mind. The Batman movies, and especially the character that he supposedly emulated or went crazy trying to emulate, was the Joker. And the Joker, as we know, those of us who followed the movies or whatnot, and even the TV show, he was alone. He was out of his mind. So we see mind control. Mind control symbols all around this event. Too many to ignore. So we have to ask ourselves, how does James Holmes acquire such artillery, weaponry, and armor in reality? How does he really acquire this? We're going to be told, oh, it's over the internet, so that so much cracking down can be done, new security can be given to us, we can be more safe in our little mind-controlled theater houses. The cinema, the theater, is a place where mind control is rampant. It's designed for mind control. It's made dark, the flashing light of the projector, the surround sound, everything is made to make you believe something is real that is not. So surrounding this movie event, which is that's an exercise in mind control, period. Seeing the movie, the big anticipation for this movie, for this fake thing, this depiction of non-reality, this science fiction movie, if you will. So we have this young man, James Holmes, now, a neuroscience student. Again, we're talking about the mind, who supposedly rigged up his home with so many explosives and booby traps, like the Joker, i.e. a psycho mind-controlled killer, that 5 other buildings, plus his, had to be evacuated. That's 6 buildings. Now we find the 6. We see the satanic marking of the 6, perhaps in that. But we can also say about this young man, he had just recently moved to Colorado. Now this tells me that there are some puppet masters at work that wanted him to be in the same place that Columbine occurred, near the Denver airport. Okay, the Denver airport is known for being some sort of Illuminati mind control center. It's been accused of having underground places for mind control and whatnot. And then, of course, we can't forget the mind control behind JonBenet Ramsey and all of those moms who put their children in harm's way by pushing them into the modeling industry, which is nothing but a place for a beta mind control Project Monarch slaves. The beta slaves are the sex slaves. They're used primarily for sex. So when you see all of these things happening surrounding Colorado, okay, the Columbine thing, we can't forget the airport. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the Denver airport, plenty of great documentaries on that. Look up Denver Airport Illuminati or Denver Airport Occult, and you'll find out what we're talking about. So we just wanted to thank you all who saw part 1 and part 2. We wanted to build a little bit on what was going on the deeper levels. This is definitely an MK Ultra mind control event. It happened during the summer solstice, so you can bet that, like Brother Bobby Hemmett has taught us before, that during this time, during this particular cusp, distraction is what's hot in the air. It's hot, you know. Distraction, the lively energy of the sun makes for a great time to distract people with something so base as a movie, but to add this killing to it, you know. James Holmes identified with the villain in the movie, who was called Bane, which is just a play off the word pain. However, also, you know the term, you're the bane of my existence. So it is a very key thing to look at the words and the names. What's in a name? You know, rose by any other name would have smelled sweet. But We just want to thank you for being here. We love you. Peace and shalom.